Hello, this is David with LA Photo Party. This video is a walkthrough for folks who just got their first photo booth or first photo booth with LA Photo Party software, which would be Photo Booth Upload or Photo Party Upload, or you're adding these to your photo booths. So this is just going to take you through all of the setup and your first basic event. There's tons more settings and options and information you can find at our support site, support.laphotoparty.com. But this video is just going to be going through the basics and getting started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is set up a Photo Party Upload account. You can do that at our website. At the back end here, we call this the Event Manager. It's where you manage your events. If you don't have an account, you can sign up for one here. Just put in your info and follow it through. There should be a link in your sign up email or your activation email if you got one as well to get here. Once you're signed up, log in. And once you're logged in, this is what it'll look like. Right here's your list of events, but of course you just logged in. You don't have any events yet. You can also see some of the other tabs up here for other options, but we don't have to worry about any of that yet. And as well, up in this corner, you can see some download links for software you might need to download if you ever lose the link and need to download it again, or your profile if you ever need to change your password, or your billing information, or things like that. So let's jump right in and start our first event. So click Create New Event. And basically it kind of walks you through the options right here. So let's start with event date. It's Halloween when I'm recording this. Let's make it for tomorrow, November 1st. Event name, After Halloween Party. Here in Eagle Rock. You don't necessarily need this in California. And that's really all you need. You can put in the other info if you want to keep track, but that's about it. And next, let's choose our sharing options. How are people going to share their photos? You can see across the top here all of the main options we've got. These days, most people are using email and text message to share, and you can also set up a SmugMug gallery to show off all of your photos on a single gallery. So let's set up both email and text real quick. So I'm going to go to the email tab and enable it. You have three options on where to show the photo within your email. You can show it inline, that means kind of in the message, as an attachment. I think we all know what that is these days, an attachment to the email, or to generate an email unique URL. Now this is a link that each person would get their own link that would just show the photos or videos or GIFs that they shared. That's why we call it a unique URL. Everybody gets their own URL that shows their photos. We can go into that a little bit more later or in another video. Let's just do inline right in the email. You can set up a from address, display name, and subject, or you can click here to use the default. So thanks for coming to our post-Halloween party. And there we go. Okay, so if we got an email, the photo will show up in the middle of the email. You can add things to the top or the bottom of the message here, or in line with the image. How about the big bold? Thanks for coming. Check out your awesome photo. All right, that's our email ready to go. Next, let's check text messages. So click text and we will enable it. Now to send text messages, you do need a Twilio account. Twilio is a service like a cell phone provider that sends text messages, but this is just an online one that the main thing they do is send text messages. They do other stuff too, but that's what we're going to be using them for. And to reduce spam and keep things going through, you do need your own Twilio account and you're going to need to register it. There's more info on that online, but once you've registered, let's just show you how that works. We're going to connect to our account. I'm not going to show you my password. Okay, I've logged in. I've hit in a couple of secret bits here, and you can see LA Photo Party's account and the phone numbers we have on our account. Probably need to clean that up a little bit, but we do a lot of testing and things, so we got a lot of phone numbers. You'll probably just have one phone number that you send your messages from. Again, you can set all of that up with Twilio. It's very easy. There's instructions on our site. And if you are just getting started and want to jump in, you don't necessarily need to enable text messages for your first event. Everybody's got an email address these days. Having just the email option really makes things simple and is really often used at a lot of events or even requested. I guess the one thing we're missing here is a message. Thanks for coming to our awesome party. All right, we now have our sharing set up. Printing is pretty easy to enable. You just check the box or don't check the box if you're not printing. We'll turn it on for now. Next, we've got some additional options. Data collect, so this is enabled by default. This means our system will keep track of people's email addresses and phone numbers and things like that for you to use later or just have as a backup. But if you do have clients with privacy concerns, you can always uncheck that. Just be very careful if you do have a client that is wanting to collect those email addresses, a corporate client or marketing client, you want to make sure that is on. These other items we can just kind of leave at default, but you can adjust graphic sizes and things like that later if you have specific needs for them. Extras. Now these are advanced options that are available, like adding a survey to your event or RFID integration. We really don't need to worry about any of these right now. And same thing with overlays. So this allows you to add an overlay to your image that you are sharing. These are only actually used in pretty rare cases. Most of the time we'll be adding the overlay to the image when we take it. But if you have, say, a roaming event where you're walking around a party with a camera and doing sharing and wanting to add an overlay automatically in the background, not in the photo booth, that's how it would be done here. But we don't need that. We are ready to go. So I hit submit. It shows details of the settings I had, so you can just double check. We've got a whole terms and conditions here that I'm sure you're going to read and accept. All right, now we've loaded up and we can see our party here, the after Halloween party. You can see so far we've sent 0 texts, emails, or prints, and we are basically ready to go. If you do need to go and edit the event later, you realize something's wrong or you want to change something, you just click on it and it'll take you back through those settings screens that you can update. So now that our party is set up, let's check out the software. There are 2 pieces of software we're going to be using today that work together. So Photo Booth Upload, that is the pink icon, and Photo Party Upload, that is the black icon. Photo Booth Upload is your main photo taking app. It's where all of your photo settings are, your overlays, your graphics. It's what guests are going to see. Photo Party Upload is more in the background, helping with the sharing and print cues and things like that. And we'll get to the green one a little bit later. For now, let's start with Photo Party Upload. So we're going to double click on that black icon, Photo Party Upload, and the software is going to open. And we log in. And once we log in, we'll get a screen like this. Our events will load. That went pretty quick because we've just got one. And you'll see in selected event, we actually have 2 options. We've got the event we just made, and we have this just printing event. Just printing is always there. It's a backup, or if you have an event where you are just printing and you don't need any of those other settings, you can use the just printing event, but we are going to use our after Halloween party event. The other main setting to keep track of, first of all, is your watched folder. This is where you want all of your photos or videos or GIFs that you're going to be sharing to end up. By default, it is the output folder here from our pink Photo Booth Upload software, so everything's going to be connected. You can also click on that to open it in Windows Explorer. There it is, and right now we can see that's empty. And basically with that, we are ready to go. So we are going to now open Photo Booth Upload and start getting our settings ready to take some photos. All right, so here we are in PBU. Just getting started. Software is not yet registered because it's brand new. We do have a trial, but you can register it. You likely have a redeem code, or maybe you're just trying it out, in which case you can use it as a trial. If you do have a redeem code, you can copy that code in here along with your account information and click Act. So I just registered this version. We get some startup tips as well, and we're ready to go. But what do we do? Why is there nothing here? Well, we got to set up a few settings first. To get to the settings screen, there are two main ways to do it. You can hit the S key on a keyboard, or you can triple tap in the bottom corner over here, and these settings will pop up. And there they are. And I know it can look like a lot at first. It's easy to get overwhelmed. But though there's a lot of options, there's really only a few ones you need to get started, and then you can build on that. Also, if you do want to keep things simple for you or your staff, there is a simple mode checkbox that will hide a lot of the options that aren't needed for most events, so you can just focus on the ones you do need. I am going to keep these showing right now as we walk through. So first things first, if you do still need to enter your license, you can do that over here and enter your license if you missed it from that pop-up. And then let's get our camera connected. Why was there nothing on the screen when we started? Well, let's take a look. Our software can use a webcam or a DSLR. Right now I have a DSLR hooked up, so let's select DSLR for everything and then choose our DSLR settings. And there we go, I can see it's hooked up. I can see a little preview of me there, not the most flattering angle here at the office. I hope you'll forgive me. So we are hooked up. Now I'm looking a little dark there, so let's adjust our settings for our camera. And we do that by hitting the DLR settings pop-up. Here we go. So here is where you'll get to your camera settings. If you really don't know any of your exposure camera, if you're getting started, that's totally fine. But there are a ton of great resources online on YouTube for learning the different camera settings, how to adjust lighting and things like that. Right now, there's two main things we're going to need to adjust in two ways. We have a live view and burst, so that's like right now it's live, and we have photo. So we have two different options for when you are taking the photo. The main reason for that is we'll generally have a flash going off with the photo, so there will be a lot more light, so we'll need to have our settings set properly for that. But right now I'm in the live view over here. So let's adjust. And now that's looking very dark, so we want more light. So there we go. We will open up our aperture here and slow down our shutter speed and increase our ISO. And now you can see me a little better. For a photo, since I'm in the office here, I don't actually have a flash to go off, so I'm going to use some similar settings. But if you were at your photo booth, you probably would keep the settings more around the default. And we can actually hit preview photo settings. This will take a photo with the flash and show you the preview settings here. It's kind of froze a little bit for a second or two. The light seems reasonably good for a shot of my arm in my office, so I can hit OK. A few other settings to look at here. There's a number, but the main one is your DSLR orientation. Right now it's horizontal, it's on its side, but if you did have a portrait photo and your DSLR was in portrait, the whole thing was physically angled, you can adjust it over here with just a click of a button. Super easy. Okay, what's next? Let's set up the graphics we want for our after Halloween party. So where do we put those graphics in? Well, actually we've got a number of hidden tabs here. So we're going to start by going to the MISC tab, and we can see on the right side all of our active tabs, and things are hidden right now so they're not bothering us, and we can turn them on and have any of the features you want: filters or green screens, videos, GIFs, page designer to set up templates like photo strips, and a lot more. right now we are just going to do a green screen to set up a simple photo with an overlay. Even though we're not actually using a physical green screen, all of those overlays and backgrounds are set up in one tab under the green screen to keep things simple. Since we are not using an actual green screen, we're going to set all of these thresholds to 0 and then click Create New Green Screen to set ours up. Actually, before that, let me show you. Our software comes with a number of green screens built in. So we've got a few here, and actually these folders are green screens that all connect to GIFs. So we've got lots of options just to get you started. But in this one, I'm going to show you how to make a new one. Okay, so I click Create New Green Screen, and we have our options here to create one. This one is Halloween Post Party. We're not going to do a background in this case. We're just going to do an overlay. So I'm going to browse, and I downloaded an appropriate overlay for a Halloween event. All right, there we go. Oop, and you can see it adds the overlay to my preview here. The other thing you can do right now, it's very simple. We're taking up the whole frame, but if you do have a design where the guest is only supposed to be in part of the frame, it's very easy to set that up. You can even do funky things if they need to be rotated or upside down. But we just want a normal frame, and you can use your mouse to do the adjustments here, or you actually have some keyboard shortcuts if you need to get exactly right, like M and N to adjust the scale back to 100%. So that's looking pretty good. I'm going to save that and say OK. So now I need to find that in our list. So I'm going to scroll to the end, and there it is. And since I only have one option that I'm going to give to users, I'm going to auto apply that. If you want to give your guests multiple options to choose from, you would do user select and choose 2 or 3 or 4 options, and that means when they take the photo, they'll get to pick between those. But I'm just going to auto apply the post party. So let's do one last check of our preferences before we take the photos. And the main things you're going to look for here is, what are you triggering the photo with? We have a countdown. That works for me. Obviously, you've got these other options here. And down here, we've got our default options, which I think all look pretty good. Hit OK. So you can see now on our main screen, the DSLR is set up. So we're seeing the live view, and we can hit photo, and that's going to start the countdown. And it can do a big smile. And we've got our super scary Halloween photo. And you can see our sharing options right here, email, text, and print, because that's what we set up in our event. And if I email this to myself, I should get that email pretty quick. So I'm going to hit done, and we're back to the starting screen, ready to go for the next guest. And now you've set up your first successful event. Way to go. I'm not going to get too into the weeds with all of the advanced settings you could use. Again, we have our tutorial videos and guides on the website. So as you're ready, you can look at some of the more advanced settings. But one thing I do want to point out is this box over here. Primarily to export or import your settings. So this is a way to save all of your settings in PBU. Everything we just set up, including the graphics, the camera settings, everything. We can export that. It pops up and gives us an option. Let's call this Halloween Post Party. It will save it as a .pbu file, like you can see there. And it takes a sec. There's a bar here saving all of our settings. And then later on, you can import those back. So you'll have them saved, and you can also import them onto a different computer. So one of the main ways this is used is you can set up all of your settings on your nice, comfortable office chair or at home on your laptop in front of the TV, and then you export them in one setting, and you can import them onto your photo booth, transfer them over with Dropbox or on a flash drive or anything like that. And that way you can do all of your graphics work, setting up anything you need to do, again, on whatever computer you like, and then just import that into your photo booth. And that about covers it for PBU and PBU getting started. You are ready for your first event. Congratulations.